Grand Rising Divine Legends. I've been guided here this morning to do a practice to tend to our inner child. And we're going to first unpack the universal law of polarity. And the reason I know I'm being guided here to put up this practice is because I know that there are many within our collective that are waking up to more profound, deeper truths. The truths of the universal laws of our universe, the truths of the illusion of our realities, the truths of love being the ultimate goal for us to discover, the infinite well of wisdom, love, health, wealth, vitality, compassion, tenderness, forgiveness, discernment, all of it. There is, and the infinite is within every cell of our body. But we are humans as well. So we have to allow the feelings, the emotional body, the ego, which is the emotional body, ego being the logical mind, and the ego and the ego must unionize within this heart that knows no bounds. Truly, your heart knows no bounds. Why many are afraid to live within the heart? Because it feels too vast for those that are riddled still with trauma and darkness, shadow. It's scary. It's scary to go into that heart to uncover what is standing in the way of me accessing, because it is there. It's always been there. It's never not been there. The presence in which there is no absence is the truth. Some still call God. I have replaced that label with love. That feels more true for me. And as I have awakened to the truth of who I am, and I come on to share my journey, coming more into alignment with my truth, letting go of those limited beliefs that have held me back and kept me really small and playing victim a lot in my life, but coming into the truth, being aligned to who I am, love in motion. I unpack these universal laws on my other YouTube channel under Reverend GGJ on the weekly. And this week we're unpacking the universal law of polarity because it ties in so well to tending to the inner child, to coming back to truth, taking deep breaths, being still to know truth, the truth of love. And we're so programmed in our collective to put meaning on everything and to loop in these limited beliefs. And we stay very disconnected from the body because we don't feel safe. And we're out here looping in limited belief and we're playing victim and we're blaming and we're feeling so confused and so in discord and disconnect, right? So we want to connect back to the infinite is within. The infinite is that expresses through us as us, coming back to that infinite well of wisdom within, which we do with breath. Take a deep breath with me. This first practice, we're taking a deep breath. Take it now with me. And let that go slowly. We'll be taking more of those in this practice because I've found the deep breaths are truly what help us come back to infinite peace, infinite serenity, infinite equanimity, that peace beyond the finite understanding we find with the breath. And why the breath? And on the mat, we move, right? We move energy. That's what we're doing. We're moving some energy, tend to the inner child, which I consider the psoas muscle, the muscle that starts here in the low part of your back, attaches to the spine at the low part of your spine, comes around your whole hip area. It's a big muscle. And then it narrows and it attaches right here in your inner thigh. And this is the biggest muscle in our entire body. And it can be, you might hear it referred to as the dumping muscle. Why? Because emotions, memories, dump down in there. And I say our tissues hold the issues. So what we're going to do, we're going to tend to our tissues. We're going to release some issues out of our tissues this morning. That's what we're doing. But why? Let's unpack this. Why do we want to do this? The momentum. So universal law of polarity. And I unpacked each of the distinctions of the one law of the one source. It's only one source from which everything's being created. That is the truth. We are that source. We are that source. We are first cause of our life. We are not the effect. We are not the victim of our life. No, we are the first cause. And every law that I unpack from there every week, there's 52 in this deck that Dr. Aaron Fall Haskell has created, is a distinction. It's the distinction of the one law, because it's the one law at play at all times. Love. Love always, in all ways. In all ways. It unpacks. We see love unpacked through this distinction of the universal law of polarity. The moment you judge anything as good or bad, you set the universe into motion. It's our judgment. It's the duality in which we're existing. So it's not wrong. We just want to understand how to use the energies around us, how to manipulate them in a way that's beneficial for us and those around us. The law of polarity is set into motion by spirit, your higher self, contemplating its own identity. The moment you consider something to be anything other than the I am, universal law is set into motion. Limited identity and limited beliefs within the soul activate and direct energy negatively in a way that we don't typically want. So that is what we're up to, uncovering, what do I actually believe? What belief is creating this discord, drama, chaos? I don't want more of that. So rather than play the victim and blame for this drama, discord, disappointment, disgust, a lot of the D words, I go uncover the belief that's creating that. And I change the belief. And that's the power. We can change our beliefs at any time. Actively creating yourself as the unique divine positively sets polarity into motion. Intention, attention, initiation, and selection set the mechanics of the universe into motion. That is what we are up to, intending to initiate our inner child to feel more safe. Yes, because what's happening in the collective, and I'll just touch on it for a quick moment, politics is bringing in another great awakening. I don't get into those conversations. I left those some years ago when I recognized those systems have been set up. Those constructs that we put all our belief and focus into and keep them well alive are put there to divide, are put there to separate us from our own infinite source and from each other. The truth is, we have an infinite source expressing through us as us, and we are connected deeply with one another. And to wake up to the truth of these constructs that have been in place to keep us separate and divided and looping in limitation, which creates discord, drama, chaos. Many are waking up. It's another great awakening. And so I'm here to take us into our bodies, to feel safe, to let those emotions come up. Let your emotional body be expressed. Many have repressed so much emotion in their lifetime, and that's what's expressing right now. So let's get into it. Let's get safe in our bodies. So close the eyes, get in a simple seated position. I want to just mention as well before we start our practice, you want a prop. You do want a prop. I have a bolster. And you may not have a bolster at your house, but you have a big pillow. You have books and pillows, and you can create a thick, supportive structure. So books and pillows or a big, thick pillow, go grab that now. Pause, go grab that prop. We will be using that at the end. What we're doing in the practice is, like I said, we're tending to our psoas, which we can equate to the inner child. And the safer that our bodies feel, the more we're going to let go of the emotions and the memories that no longer serve, that keep us looping in limitation, right? And we don't necessarily have to know exactly what that memory, what that emotion is that I'm releasing out of my tissues. I don't have to identify directly per se the issue being released. I just have to be open to the release. That's all. So find your tall spine, find an easy seated position, hands on the knees, close the eyes down, chin parallel to the floor, not lifted or tucked. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. And let's connect with the breath here initially. Taking a big breath in, all that out. We're going to do that 2 more times. Take a big breath in. Audibly all that out. One more big breath in. Audibly all that out. Come into some silence, connecting with their breath, with your breath. Slowing the breath down, evening it out. Listen to the breath coming in through your nose. And slowly releasing from the nose or the lips like a straw. You're feeling your belly lift, your chest lift with every inhale. You're feeling it all sink back to the earth on the exhale, slowing it down, deepening it. Allowing that breath to start from your belly. Let the belly expand out, the chest lift, that breath come through the throat, slowly exhaling it out again. Listening to the thoughts, listening to the breath. Smooth, even breaths here. Just connecting deeply within. We're dropping into a place that we can't define necessarily, right? We find it with this deep breath. Slowing it down. Evening it out. Perhaps even counting that 4 count in, 4 count out, or a 5 count in, a 5 count out. Focusing on your breath, letting go all the way to the bottom of that exhale, recognizing that full exhale all the way to the very, very bottom is the signal of a surrendered soul. It is the coming back into the deep faith and trust in your journey, in your process, that you're perfectly unfolding permanently. There are no mistakes here. Be in the breath. Don't let your mind wander, trying to prove that statement wrong somehow. Keep breathing. A couple more breaths here, just letting the body settle in, finding that infinite well of peace once again. Tapping into your soul, that infinite knows, the knowledge, the awareness that all is well right here, right now, in this present moment. Nothing's wrong. Final breath here in the stillness, in the silence. Fluttering the eyes open. We're going to find a tabletop position right away. So you want to find your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, and you can move slow. There's no reason to ever rush transitioning into a posture. We're tending to the inner child right now. So we are going to move slowly and gently through this practice and really tend to the psoas muscle. So you want your fingers spread. You want a little monkey grip. So you want to find your shoulders right over your wrists, your hips right over your knees, maybe wag a little bit from side to side. That feels good. We're going to just do some circles first through these hips. So slow, warming up the wrists and the hips. We're going to slowly circle one direction, and you're really seeing. Close the eyes down, keep a long neck and spine. Don't tuck your chin in. Really feel into the wrists as you're coming up, rounding around. Jet that hip out and feel into that hip. Feel into the low back. Really take your time. Investigate what's going on in my body right now. Keep that belly soft. There's no reason to tighten the belt right now. We're just allowing the body to move slowly, gently through these circles. It can be big or small, depending on how tight you are. Keep breathing. Keep inhaling through your nose, exhaling either out the nose or out those lips, slowly, gently letting the breath go, coming all the way to the bottom of that exhale. Pause where you are and reverse your circle. So again, go slow. Feel into your body. Feel into the hips as you're pulling them back towards your heels, coming around on your hip. Feel into that hip, that side seat as you come up. Feel into your wrists, into your fingertips, into the arms, into the biceps, the elbows. Come around again. You're going slow. Just feel in. Don't tuck your chin. Keep a long neck and spine. Keep breathing. Take another big breath here. And maybe you have felt something. So we're going to drop into a child's pose right away. Keep the knees under your hips. You want to support your low back. Lower the head all the way to your mat. Feel that support of the mat so you can relax your neck all the way. Arms are heavy onto your mat. Elbows are soft. Nothing engaged through the arms. Lift the head just a bit and start to take a gaze from side to side. Go slow. Returning the neck, starting to loosen up, release tension there. Keep breathing. Come through center and you're going to say yes a couple of times. Go slow, lifting the chin up, tucking it in. Lower the head down to the mat. Take your hands together, making prayer hands. Thumb touching, fingers touching, palms touching. Draw your elbows a little closer towards your ears. Press the elbows into the mat as you draw your hands back, resting at the nape of your neck. Little opener for your shoulders here, breathing into the biceps, the shoulders, the triceps. One more full breath here. Let those hands come back to the mat. Spread your fingers, engage your whole arm, lift your elbow up. Again, breathe into your shoulders. One more breath. Stay in the breath. Let the thoughts come and go. We're allowing the body to release. Think about that release and just stay in your breath. On your next inhale, lift up, back up into tabletop. Bring those hands under your shoulders, knees, if they moved out at all, move back under the hips. You're going to bring your right leg out in front of you into a low lunge. So you want to make sure your knee is over your ankle. You can keep your fingers connected. You can lift the chin, and that will draw that hip flexor stretch a little deeper. Another way to deepen this, if it feels right for your hips and you have that space. Keep this alignment here, and you can move this back knee. So you might tuck the toes, find a little more support there. That's one option. You can scoot that knee back a little bit, make a little more space to drop in a little deeper, right? And get that hip flexor stretching, opening up. I'm going to release my toes back to the mat. Get a little deeper in that stretch, just breathing in there. Make sure this knee's not falling out. That's what it tends to do. You want to keep that alignment, keep stretching this IT band, taking another breath here. Then we're really going to exhaust this hip flexor. So we're going to lift up, use your leg to support yourself in this balance pose, right? You can stay right there, connected to this leg. If you want to test your balance a little more, you're going to reach your left arm. Oops, excuse my plant here. Reach it up by this left ear. Spread those fingers so the whole arm is engaged. You feel that stretch down the whole side of your body. And you're breathing into your hip flexor. Just breathe in there. You can shut the eyes down and feel that. Keep scissoring your thighs together to maintain that balance. If that's really tricky for you, you can tuck those back toes. That will give you more support in this balance posture. Whatever feels right for you here, you can play around, right? You can release those toes back and see, does that balance work for me? There's always room to play, explore into your body in your practice. Taking a final breath here. We're going to twist out of this. So we'll draw this straight arm down outside this right knee. Bring your right hand to meet this left hand. You can keep the fingers pointing to the earth. Turn your gaze past that right shoulder. If you want to deepen this twist, bring these hands into heart center and deepen that twist. Testing your balance. Take another breath. Inhale, frame this foot in front. And exhale, come back into your tabletop. Wag your tail side to side. And we're going to go through a little flow between sides. So I'm going to take my prop out of the way and find a kneeling plank. So you want to take your hands up to your short edge, drop your hips just enough to engage the core, right? They're not down here under your shoulders. You want them lifted to engage your core, but to keep a flat back. Press your toenails, top of the foot into the mat, and hug some tennis balls under your armpits so you engage both the bicep and tricep. Take an inhale with this flat back. As you're exhaling, elbows are skimming the body. You can drop a little bit or halfway. Inhale, push back up, using that bicep tricep strength. And then exhale, pull your hips back towards your heels like you'll drop into a child pose, but we won't drop. We'll flow. Inhale, flat back, kneeling plank. Hug that tennis ball. Skim the elbows by the body as you drop on your exhale. Inhale, push back up. Building that strength. Inhale, exhale, pull back. One more. Inhale, kneeling plank. Flat back, hug that tennis ball. Saving the shoulder socket every time, right? That little trick of hugging that tennis ball in. Push back up on your inhale. Dropping all the way into child pose on the exhale. Keeping the knees under the hips if that feels right for your low back. Or big toes together, open the knees, drop your hips a little deeper if that's okay for the low back. You do you. Feel into your body, right? We're in this practice to feel good, to feel safe, so that we can release the issues from our tissues. Tending to that small, innocent part of ourselves that probably went into some hiding as a young person, having to face something very scary. Let's keep it a buck, people. Yes, why we're here. Keep breathing, keep releasing. 2 more breaths. Don't judge any emotions coming up. Let them be felt, feel them, acknowledge them. Acknowledge that you are worth loving this deeply. Finish your exhale all the way here. You'll come back into tabletop. If your knees are wide, draw them back under your hips. Find those hands under your shoulders. Wag your tail side to side. And then find your flat back. Tight belt around the waist as you inhale. As you exhale, step this left leg out for low lunge. So we're coming to this other side. We want to find that alignment right away of that knee over ankle. Keep your fingers connected. We're here low first. So we can tuck our back toes, find a little more stability. Lifting chin to deepen this hip flexor stretch. Maybe scooting that back knee back a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be as big of a scoot as me. Just make a little more space for your hips. You can drop down a little deeper there. Breathing into that hip flexor. Keep pulling this knee in, stretching that IT band. Don't let it fall out. We keep that good alignment of knee over ankle the whole time. One more full breath here. Crawl up. So you can use this leg. You can also tuck your back toes. That's going to help with balance always. A little more engaged, belt tight, right? Will help with balance. Use this leg to walk up. If you want to take this a little deeper, we're just going to be here breathing into this hip flexor. I'm going to release well, not yet. I'm going to inhale this right arm up by my right ear, spreading those fingers so the whole arm engages that stretch right all the way down into that right hip, side seat. And then a little more balance if you want to follow me, untuck those back toes, right? That makes it a little less stable. It makes me squeeze my inner thighs a little more. I'm really exhausting my psoas muscle, knowing that as I exhaust the psoas gently, gently with these gentle movements, loading it up, but it's not huge, right? We're not standing and putting our entire body weight onto it. It's a gentle exhaustion to find the deep release at the end. One more breath here. We'll find that twist next. Keep this long arm. Bring it on the outside of this left knee, pointing to the floor. Join that left hand to your right hand, making those prayer fingers. You can keep the fingers pointing to the floor. Look over that left shoulder. That might be a deep enough twist for you. Deepen it if you want by drawing those hands towards your heart center. Just notice how that changes it up. One more breath. You'll inhale back, framing your front foot, and exhale to your tabletop. Wag your tail. And we'll go through that flow again. So find your kneeling plank hands, come up to that short edge, drop those hips about 45-degree angle. Take a breath with your flat back. Hug those tennis balls, exhale, lower. Inhale, push up. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, flat back. Hugging the tennis ball, exhale. Inhale, push up. Exhale, pull back. One more. Inhale, flat back. Hug, exhale. Inhale, push. Drop into that child pose that you like, your body likes, knees together or apart. Head heavy on the floor, arms heavy on the floor. Breathe into your hips, into your low back. One more breath here. All the way to the bottom of that exhale, just releasing tension, releasing grip out of your body. We're going to walk the upper body over to the right side of our mat. This is a big side lateral lean. You can deepen this by crossing that left hand on top of your right hand and turning your gaze up under your armpit. Just notice how that deepens the stretch. If it's too much, just undo where you came from, right? You can always go back to what felt right in your body. Take another breath here. You never want to copy cut anyone else. You want to find your unique expression. That's what we're here for. Inhale over to the other side, finding that lateral lean for this right side. Again, those options, if you want to deepen it, are there for you. Taking one more breath. Exhaling all the way. Inhale through center. Drop into the mat for our final exhale. And then we're going to come up and we're going to find that prop right away. So I have my bolster. You have your pillow, perhaps some books to place the pillow on to add some height. We're getting into a supported bridge pose. So we want to place the prop toward the bottom of the mat, but somewhat in the center. So you're going to find your low back and your hips on this prop. So set up your prop first, and then you'll put yourself on it. So that I find a little bit easier than getting into bridge, lifting hips up and shoving the prop. If you've got books and pillow, you want to set it up first. That's going to be too tricky. So we'll come from this, set your prop up, and then we're going to climb on it basically. So you might look a little funky. You know, I'm going to look a little funky, but just know that's what it is. You want your feet flat on the other side of this prop, and then you're going to just hoist your low back and your hips up onto your pillow or your bolster. You want the full low back on the mat, on the bolster, the pillow, so you want enough space there to feel really supported through your whole hip, low back region. Like I'm moving around so you can see I'm on my bolster, my full hip, low back, sacrum, tailbone, it's all there. Now I'm going to lay back, elbow by elbow. You're just gently lowering yourself. Go slow. Don't rush anything, using your core a little bit to find a flat back. You want no space between your shoulder blades. You want those shoulder blades nice and wide and flat. A long neck and spine. I just removed my hair. What that does for me, it helps lengthen my neck. I can tell when I set my head back down, I'm long through that neck. My chin is slightly tucked, right? You want that length. You want the flat back. You want no space there. You're trying to release tension out of your chest, out of your shoulders, out of your neck, out of your face. So just notice right now, is there any tension you're holding on to in your face, in your neck? You can touch these areas, right? Just to signify release, relax, let go. You are safe. You are safe. All right. So from here, we're going to take the hands to the belly. This is another way that we're signifying to the body, you are safe. You are safe to be here now. You are safe to release what it is that no longer serves. We're going to legs up the wall from here. I didn't take you to a wall. I recognize not everyone has wall space available to them in this practice. And I know that everyone has this modified version of legs up the wall available to them. So we're here just to accommodate everyone's setup. We're going to take these legs up. So you really want to feel settled onto your prop. Settle your low back in, maybe wiggle around a little bit. Feel flat through your back. Feel those shoulders soft away from the ears. They're not lifted up. And then lift your legs up. Roll your ankles around. Point and flex your feet. We'll stretch through the whole leg initially down into the Achilles heel and ankle, just rolling around, pointing and flexing. Feel that stretch happening through the whole leg. And then find an inhale as you flex your toes in towards your face. And as you exhale, let the feet go heavy. Legs stay where they are. What we've done is we've just allowed the leg to get pretty heavy, right? We're going to find gravity is weighting the whole leg into the hip socket. Breathe, taking big, smooth, even breaths. Like we found at the very first part of class, of practice, those deep, smooth, even breaths. Access those breaths again here. We're going to be here for a little bit. What we're doing is just allowing the body, allowing our tissues to release issues. Stay focused on the release. Invite any shaking you may be experiencing. That is your psoas releasing. That is what we're inviting. We want that. We are not looking to make that happen. No, no, we are just receiving what is. So whatever's happening in your body, allow yourself to be where you are. This is a deep expression of love happening right now for each one of us as we allow our bodies to be where they are. We're allowing whatever release is happening from the tissues. We're inviting it and accepting what is. Knowing if this is highly uncomfortable for you, you can do hard things. We can do hard things. We can do hard things. Invite that release. Allow yourself to be here now. A few more breaths. Time your low back cannot take how long we're here. Bring your knees into your chest. Stay in that supported posture. Just bring the knees down in the chest. That's where we're going next. But I know that I can be here longer than some are able to or have capacity to, and that's okay. Just let the knees fall into the chest if you're not able to hold this posture as long as I am. I'm here for 2 more breaths. Do a final breath wherever you are. Exhaling all the way to the bottom. Your legs are still lifted with mine. They're going to drop gently, bending the knees, drawing them into your chest. Go slow. Don't rush this at all, right? Like you are dealing with a newborn child, as though, right? That's the energy we're in right now. So drawing the knees into the chest. If you were already there, you're just holding your knees gently towards your chest. Take another breath here, everyone. Big full belly breath. Let it go. We'll keep the left knee in. Stamp your right foot down next to your prop, bolster or pillow, close to it. So gently let that foot find the mat, find the floor. From here, grip your left knee, draw that knee closer to your chest. And now, slowly, with intention, drag your heel on that right leg out. Go slow. Feel the heel connected to the mat the entire time, pushing it out little by little, going slow. Just feel that connection of the heel, pushing out, lengthening slowly. The leg is slowly lengthening out. Go all the way till the leg is fully extended, and then release your foot to drop wide to that long edge, and that thigh opens up. And we're in that very small, most vulnerable part of our psoas. And we're breathing deeply in there, inviting the release, inviting the shake, knowing we can gently draw this left knee closer to our chest to deepen anything here, inviting more release. Go slow and only go intuitively as far as your body feels safe to go. Keep breathing. Inviting that release of the issues from the tissues. Allowing the body to release whatever it's ready to release. Breath. Remember, we're dealing with a newborn that's probably sleeping at this point, so super gently, slowly, left foot finds the floor first. So go slow, keep the knee bent, but we'll stamp down close to your prop, close to your bolster or your pillow. Find that floor, find that mat first. Keep that knee bent, stay right there. Now gently draw this right knee toward your chest. Again, no rush. Draw that right knee in. Find that grip around your knee. Draw the knee in. Find that stillness. Now draw that left heel out. Push. Stay connected to your floor. Go slow. Feel the connection of that heel. Sliding against the mat. Extending the legs slowly out. When we get to that full extension, we release that foot heavy. It turns out to that long edge. We open up that inner thigh. We start the deep breaths. And so if our body is intuitively going there, just allow that depth to happen. Final breath. Drawing the right foot down close to your prop. Drawing the left foot up close to your right foot, close to the prop, like you're in supported bridge. Extend your arms out from the sides of your shoulders, palms up. You're going to take your right arm over your chest. Let that hand drop down by the armpit on the left side. Draw the left arm up over the right. You're giving your chest a big hug. Spread your fingers and allow them to pull on your shoulder blades, keeping that back nice and flat, long through the neck. Breathe into this big hug, just thanking your body for all that it's released this morning. Release the hands, one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. You decide which. Let the elbows touch the floor. Keep your knees bent. Heavy through the hips and the low back. I'm going to take you into a visualization to take us out of the practice this morning. So I want you to find your youngest version that you remember yourself, where you felt free, where you felt completely innocent, where the world had not touched you quite yet, where the constructs of man had not quite programmed you all the way yet. Find that youngest version that you see and find a safe place for that version of yourself. But build a construct. It can look like anything, indoor, outdoor. And I want you to see a shield protecting you and build the shield from material that you may not even know yet. It could come from another place that hasn't even been known in our reality. And I want you to find that shield over your innocent self right now. And you can even double it up like I have. Put a ring of fire around, protecting that innocent self of you. And know that you are safe and protected right there. Perhaps you've never felt safe and protected in the reality of this world that you live in. But right now, you are safe and protected. And just see yourself right there, playing, having no concerns, no worries, no anxiety. And I want you to know that you can come back to this, dear one, divine legend, this construct that you've imagined, you've visualized yourself. This is your place to come back to over and over and over and over. Be with your innocent self as much as you can. Reassure him or her they are safe. They know the truth, that they are protected infinitely. And I leave you here in this visualization knowing the power of our minds, the power to visualize new constructs. Taking a big breath together, letting that go. May you know the truth of who you are. Namaste.